I don't know the theme song to the Clone Commandos, so I'm gonna make one up, Clone Commandos. Hello and welcome. I'm painting up some Clone Commandos. I'm so excited about this. I've been waiting for this. And we're day 3 of Main Extravaganza. I'm having a great time. Hopefully you're having a great time. We just came off the Legion roadmap. The roadmap is where we discuss like what's happening and what's coming. And today was Legion. It was dope. And we're going right into more Legion with some Clone Commandos. I'm going to paint them up. I don't know what color. I'm just going to paint them white for my army unless you can convince me otherwise, right? Unless you can convince me otherwise.
Well, Dallas, I'm going to jump in and say that it looks like you have more than one commando on the table. So if chat were to convince you to do multiple color schemes, is that possible?
Wait, what?
To do more than one.
Well, we'll see what happens.
All right.
Delta Squad, Delta Squad, Delta Squad. Yeah, the release schedule. We wanted to show that there's a lot coming and we're working on stuff and that we have a commitment to getting more going. It's a process. It's a lot of threads to untangle. And we're working very hard on a ton of Legion stuff that you haven't even seen. And I thought it was super cool that we got to like show like a far glimpse of the future, like to show like how far down the rabbit hole we're coming. You know, we're 2025, 26, 27. That's how long my schedule goes out. So I thought that was super sweet. Should I just paint this for my my squad, my army? I got all 4 sculpts here, and then I got 2 squads worth all done up. Smeagol, thank you very much. Jeff, what's up? What's up? Let's just start painting. I got some gray out. Maybe we'll do some fun ones. Let's just start with some classic. Everybody always wants to know how to paint white. And what I've done is I base coated. I did use an airbrush. You don't have to use it. Convincing me is easier than said than wait. Easier than you think. So I started with an off-white. I did a airbrush. You don't have to do an airbrush. I just thought, why not? I got 8 of them, so I might as well get the airbrush out and spend 20 minutes base coating 8 miniatures. I can spend an hour cleaning the airbrush, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Tony knows.
That's always the way with airbrush. If you're going to use one, try to do as much as you can because, yeah, you spend more time cleaning it than you do painting a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna use a very warm gray. And so far there's no white on this. Miniature. This airbrush is a mix of white and gray. So it's a very light gray. And we're going to use that because as we go to paint our clone commandos, those new hard plastic stormtroopers. I'm waiting for those, Tony.
What?
I'm waiting for those hard plastic stormtroopers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be my Empire army.
You scoot your whole rig to your right, just clear out the
A little bit more. Kindness goes a long way. Thanks, AMG. Are you painting him as generic commando? Yeah, I think I'm going to do generic Commando. I'm thinking we'll start with just generic Commando for my clone army, right? Um, you know, it's always a good refresher on how to paint white. So going back to that philosophy is what we're going to talk about, and then maybe we'll do something fun. Maybe we'll do like a red clone Commando. So I'm going back left. Tony contact. Tony 2 times over here. Perfect. One more time. Classic Tony line. So, anyways, back to why I did an off-white. Is that way we can use pure white as our final highlight and now make the whole armor sing and pop as white. When you look at things in real life that are colored white, they're not really white. They're a lot of gray, blue. They're a reflection of all the colors around. So learning to paint white is always a lot of fun. Yeah.
There was a topic that Schick talked about yesterday too, saying that black is defined by its highlight and white is defined by its shadows. So that, you've told me a lot that to paint that white is painting with colors and then just that little kick of white right at the end, right?
Yeah, painting white, the color white is defined by its shadows. So when you go outside, look at a white car, and what's really making it read to you is all the colors reflecting in the shadows and all that. And then the final highlight is white, right? The part that just pings and pops toward the eye is white. But it's all the colors and the shadows and the midtones that really define what white is. And then black is defined by its highlights. So the opposite. Because black, the shadows and the midtone is black. But then the different types of black is defined by what you see in the highlighting of it. So it makes for a very interesting. So my clone force, I call the Lucky 13s. They're my own squad. When you say midtone, what do you mean? Midtone is the color, what we call local color. It's the color that your eye perceives as the overarching color of the element. So the midtone on this is this off-white, and I'm applying a first shadow. I don't want this shadow to overtake that off-white. I just want a little bit blending up around the edges of it, but I want to maintain that midtone. It's the middle color of the spectrum of the element. So if you have shadow and you have highlight, the midtone is well, as a painter, you would call it your base color. Which is a very easy way to explain it. That crab droid life. Crab droid is life. So yeah, my clone force is the Lucky 13s. They're my own little squad. Just sort of made them up. I always consider them like kind of a little squad force trapped on the outer rim, doing their best. Maybe they haven't been resupplied in months or maybe even years. They have a white and black color scheme, so I think let's start with just one of those, just to see what it looks like. I was so excited for that Vader too. Never thought I was going to build an Empire. Now we got hard plastic stormtroopers and that Chad Vader.
I'm still giggling about
that. Nothing was pushed back. It's just we gave, you know, this is what happens when you give a spoiler really, really early. You get it early, and then you gotta wait. So you gotta ask yourself, do you really want the spoiler? Truly? The conundrum of man. I want the knowledge, but I don't want the ramifications of the knowledge. This is how you get a Cthulhu. We're gonna darken the seams of the undersuit. Sometimes you start with this. I didn't. Yeah, and the cool thing about this squad, this miniature build, is you can, I've shown my units many, many times. The cool thing is you get the different blaster configurations and you can put it on each of the poses. So you can put any arm on any pose.
So you can have one of those commandos one-handing that long rifle.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could have one of them just one-handing the sniper config, just being a total boss. Like, you know, just total 80s action movies. There's 4 blaster configurations. There's grenade, rifle, shotty, and sniper. You can see them all on the miniatures. Since this is my clone force, I get to paint it however I want, and I'm gonna paint that little bit black. Bow. Just gonna block out some of those black areas. It almost looks like he's got a little goatee. Oh, blaster rifle grenade launcher. Is that true? Oh yeah, blaster rifle grenade launcher. You're correct. Andy coming in for a win. Or Andrea coming in for a win. I looked down for some reason. I thought there was 4. There's 3. Blaster rifle grenade launcher. I apologize. A lot of information in my head. Tony, I'm hoping I get to paint a Tuca on screen.
You hope you get to paint a what?
I'm hoping I get to paint a Tuca on stream. Just added water to our black paint to make a wash. MBD. Yeah, you know, I did it. This is what happens when it's day 3. I've been painting for hours. Got so many projects in my head. Information gets fuzzy. Also, do you know how many licks I've taken to the noggin in my life? Oh yeah, the behind the scenes folks is what makes the pudding. Tony, Andrea, Ann, Summer, Jeremy. Jeremy bought me an unexpected coffee this morning. It was very nice. You get 4 miniatures. You get 4 miniatures in the box. Dropping spoilers like Marco over here. Should I do both shoulders black?
I always like asymmetrical stuff.
I like asymmetry too. So let's do this knee in black, because it's the opposite of that shoulder. You know, we got a big schedule. We got lots coming for Shatterpoint, Legion, Crisis Protocol. So we've shown a lot off, but we haven't shown it all. You know, we got Adepticon to go to still. Can't just get all willy-nilly with the teasers. Where are you at now? What do you mean? I'm right here, hanging out.
I think talking with each other about living in Hawaii.
Whoa, we're living in Hawaii. I'm not going to answer that question, Jerd. I don't know why I said it like that. Just the spelling of it made me feel like that's the way it says. Stay on target. Stay on topic. Look, I know I'm supposed to stay on topic, but I can't stop thinking about that Tuca. Got a little black on that white armor, and that's okay. That'll all get cleaned up later. Is it too cliche to say Scorch? Keep it on topic. Oh. We got Shinobi in our house. Give me that 36 chambers. Oh, boo, 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 boo. What's my favorite pose from the Commandos? I think probably this little, like, leader pose. I like Blasty here. I like them all. This is like one of those like miniature, classic miniature military poses. Moving one way and strafing the other. Oops. But I love the crouchy one. Okay, what if action crouch? We need a little more shade on the base plate. So has anybody here seen my Lucky 13s? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, gang, it's been fun. Gotta paint. Ian's gotta go paint. All right, so I think we're gonna get a little bit of the Lucky 13s look in here. Hang on, hang on. The Lucky 13s are known for black skull-like base paints. Okay, maybe let's do a little black around the visor to kind of close in the eyes. I also do a turquoise glow on the Lucky 13s, so I will carry that turquoise glow over to the Clone Commandos for them as well. Yeah, I love kit bashing. Did you join the other day? We kit bashed some terrain. Perfectly usable for Shatterpoint and Legion. I'm always bad at symmetry. Needs to lean back more. That'll help frame in the turquoise glow. Tony, if we get around to Scorch, I might need a reference pulled up. So did you see my brush hovering? That was just me literally just making decisions on if I wanted to continue any black. Maybe because these are clone commandos, they should have an additional color on them, even for the lucky 13s, right? So the next step is I want to go a little gray. I mean, I am going a little gray, so we don't need to make that joke. Let's put the tiniest touch of blue in that gray too. We need some more black. My paint palette from yesterday, just a wreck. And I was like, well, I could clean it up or I could just keep painting with it. So that's what I did. And so we're just kind of using what paints we got. But I know we got some Pro Acryl Coal Black somewhere around here. The riveting part of the stream where Dallas can't find the paint. I need a paint jockey, like a Sherpa, a Lupa. You know, instead of asking for my 9-iron, I can just be like, Pro Acryl, Coal Black. And they're like, they just hand it to me. A caddy. I said a jockey. I meant a caddy. Coal Black, got it. Have you named your commandos yet? I have not. No, that's a clone commando. I need Scorch.
Oh, you want Scorch? My apologies.
Yeah, sorry. Sick magenta markings. Somebody's been paying attention. Somebody's been paying attention. That's the gray I want. Slightly blue. Very dark. Is that Scorch? What if we do like a, if Delta Squad was part of the Lucky 13s? Dun, dun, dun. So this is like a dark gray, and I'm going to put this in the deepest recesses of the white armor. This accentuates the shadows. I don't need a lot of this. I just need to break the forms. And an Umbara scheme. Probably not. None of my Clone Force is not painted as such. And I like to make all my stuff match no matter what, you know. So like I said, you know, just now, just the idea of adding Delta Squad to my clone force. My clone force is very non-standard, and I think I can help maintain that sort of coherent narrative storytelling aspect that is so fun in miniature painting. When you're building your force, you get to tell your little story yourself. You know, you don't have to paint anything canonical. You can have red stormtroopers and, you know, heck, kit bash some Twi'lek heads on your stormtroopers, or, you know, you can kind of do what you want, right? Because that's the fun of miniature painting, is making things your own and expressing that little bit of personalization into, you know, especially for something like Star Wars, right, where you get to you're participating in the world, right, by building your squad and making it the way you want. And maybe the way you want is canonical. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think we can, I mean, we got 90 minutes here. I can do a lot in 90 minutes. So I think we can paint a standard clone here, Commando. And then let's see if we can do like a Delta Squad version for my force, and see if we can tie them together somehow and make it feel like, you know, Delta Squad is part of my army. And, you know, that way when I go to the table to play a game with you, my battle force seems very cohesive. I think we can do this. I believe in me, and I believe in you. So together we should be unstoppable, right? Just a little joy of painting. Oh. Miniature painting time. Yeah, look at this. Ah! Some aspects of painting on stream is a little difficult, but we try to persevere through those parts. You know, I can't always get in the little nooks and crannies and finish it off, because we're really talking philosophical, trying to provide inspiration. Maybe just a jumping off point for you, so you can get your force painted up. And then you can post it, and I can look at it, and I can be like, that's dope. I usually don't go into long, detailed discussions about your dopeness. Tony knows. It's very succinct. When priming something, you're going to paint white. Do you ever tint your primer with color? Yeah, that's what I did here. I knew they were going to be white. I actually have a bottle of paint I've mixed up at home and labeled, terrible name for them, labeled clone juice. But it's my base coat for painting my clones. It's a little blue, it's a little white, it's a touch of gray. I think there's a drop of pink in there actually to kind of liven the whole thing up. And so I prime it black, and then I do a very, 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 very heavy layer, just leaving the tiniest amount of shadow in there with the clone juice to give it that white, off-white look to start the painting. Tell us more of the story to Lucky 13. I'm going to use the exact same clone here. It's not the exact same clone though. That's the fun part. I'm going to use the exact same pose. No, let's use the blaster. I want the blaster. Just use this cat. Let's do Scorch. So Scorch has gray. Gray shoulder pads. We're just going to do a wash. So the same gray we were using earlier, actually. Gonna get this built in first. I don't have a full reference in front of me, so I'm making it up. Making it up is okay. Making it up is okay. Everybody's so quiet this morning.
Just got the chill painting vibes going.
That's what we do. Chill painting
Listen to
vibes.
the smooth, mellow, lo-fi sounds. Watching paint dry. It's never so much fun.
You don't have to say watching paint dry. Gosh.
It's implied.
It's implied. You're right. Accidentally painted gray where it's supposed to be yellow, but that's okay, cause I'm a painting fellow. Right across, looks like right across here. Whoops. Oh, 2 bristles on that brush. Terrible. Clean it off. Second brush, clean it off. That's your eraser brush and your blending brush. And the brush that makes it hard to talk while you're teaching people how to paint. It has so many uses. We'll come back to that when it dries. Tony, I've complained about a bad brush for months. I bought a new brush in yesterday and I still haven't used it. Okay, let's try this again. Close enough is good enough. What paints am I? I'm using Pro Acryl paints. Which, if you hang out in here, sometimes Pro Acryl pops in and says hi. They're like, "Sup, dog?" We're like, "Sup." Terrible line, terrible line, terrible line. Fix it. Can't quite tell what's going on those legs. I see there's some gray, but I can't quite see where it goes. So I think we're going to just make it up. Because it definitely comes down here, but then it cuts back. Right, Tony? And then the side of the knee plate is gray. The sides of the knee plate is gray. I got a wild hair. We're just going to do the whole back in that gray. We're going to cut in. Going to use the armor plates to kind of find where the gray is going to go. That always helps. Oh, I think we can answer that, Tony. Like when Schick says these are releasing in Q1, or this is happening in Q1, typically we're talking about January, February, March. Calendar. I know there's gray on those feet. We should get to some yellow soon, though. We'll do that for gray feet. We're going to kick this around the inside of the shin. Let's start some yellow. Let's do warm yellow. Bloop, bloop. To be clear, the white parts of this is going to be painted just like we did our previous clone. So we're going to use our off gray. Painting white is all about color. It's all about color. Tony, will you put a link to our website in the chat? I think we got some people new to AMG and may want to learn and find out what we are. Welcome to Atomic Mass Games. We make dope games. Gosh, I love that. I love that white center to this scheme, right?
Yeah, right. Right now, it almost looks like just cool design work.
And that gray framing really pushes the white forward. Dark colors tend to push back in space. Light colors push forward. So by having that gray frame to the white armor, it just really pushes that white forward and gives it a real sense of purpose. And then you add that. So I got like this cold gray for the markings. And then I'm using a warm gray to shade the white. And warm and cold are contrasts, obviously. So that's going to create a lot of contrast on this miniature. Spicy. Okay, let's do also with the transparent orange, I think. And I know there's an umber in this line because I've used it. There's burnt sienna. Where's my caddy? Oh, mahogany. Yes. Yes. So let's start with a little yellow. On the gauntlets. Yellow is intense, isn't it? Like I said, I don't have a full concept or reference up. So I'm going to kind of make it up. That's okay. I know this juts around a little, so. I'm just trying to figure out how the yellow works on the leg. Up. Can you get rid of that notification box on the right? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it.
Question from chat. Do you usually paint a lot of battle damage, or are you going for a more clean look?
Whoa. It all depends. Sometimes I do battle damage. I'll do some, we can do little chits. Little dings and danks and dents. Yeah, so it's higher over here. So that white stripe is going to cut across. And the full boot. I like putting little bits of damage here and there. Dope. Yeah, and there's a white stripe on the shoulder pad too, so we'll have to get that in. Gotta shuck the hoodie. It's getting hot. So it's hot in the studio. Getting hot in the studio. Too hot in the studio. You know it's hot in the studio. Make some more of that blue-gray. shade our white. Just the deepest lines here. I think that could be a little darker. What was that question? You mentioned different weapon options.
Just curious if there are any other options in the kit at all.
There's three weapons in the kit. Blaster, rifle, grenade. Thank you for all the hard work y'all have done. Can't wait to get, I can't see, but that's okay. Pog Daddy. That's what they called me in middle school when I had the ultimate slammer skills. Or, like, the bell rings at 11:45. Everybody runs out to the playground. They all huddle around right off to the side of the merry-go-round, but between the swings, but not all the way to the swings. And then they all gather around, and then I come out a little late, and they're like, "It's the Pog Daddy." And then here I come with my giant slammer. Bam! I'm like, "What's up, fellas? I'm here to claim all your pogs." So I'm using a light blue to do my sort of a fake, not really a highlight, but just it adds a little color. And I like kind of putting it where the highlight is. I collect miniatures. You don't think Pogs and other collectible card sticker things were not on my list of likes as a child? Now as blue tone, I love putting it counter to that warm, right? That warm shadow we did on the white. Because that once again, it creates that contrast that miniatures so desperately love.
Got about a half an hour left.
30 minutes.
See how you're going to treat the rest of that yellow.
I was going to ignore it till you pointed it out. There's nothing worse than a Tony call out. He's just like, "I'm calling you out." And you're like, "Ah, Tony, I can't tell you no."
That's what I'm here for.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is we got black wash. I just saw it. Where'd it go? Hey, you, Blackwash, where you at? Gotta find you. Hey, 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 hey. It was right here just a second ago. I should have pulled it out when I saw it. I could. Yep, found it. Do you have a well palette in here? Oh, it's way over there. Sorry, I don't need it. I'm gonna be a monster. Put my wash on my wet palette, 'cause I'm a monster. Oh, you're gonna give me a wet palette? Thank you. It doesn't have to be perfectly clean. Look, those are all shicks, and they're all just messy. It could be full of oil paints even.
Oh, here's a clean one.
I already put the paint in there. That's all right. We're gonna pour it in there. Now put this back over there for shick. Just a constant game of sabotage around here.
Let's do a quick palette shift.
Okay. Great. Thank you. I'm adding a little bit of glazed wash medium from Monument. A little more wash. I never got to play the Republic Commando game. Should I go back and play it? And will I actually like it? Will I like it? You don't know what kind of games I like. Yes. Oh, now everybody's talking. Yes, 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 yes. 100%. All right, chat. I have to finish the game I'm currently playing. I can't do 2 games at once. I'll put it on my list. I almost picked up the other new Star Wars game, and I haven't picked that up yet. But it looks really, really cool. I think Schick, Pagani, and Dursamal played it. I'm like the weirdest video game player. I find one game and I will play it for years. Okay, I think what I want to do on the yellow is we're going to add a little orange. It's very tactical. I do like tactical games. A little bit of this mahogany's. Make a mess all over the place. Take a little bit of that yellow. little wash medium, a little transparent white, touch of mahogany, a little more yellow. Why did I choose those colors? I want something yellow, but I need to start shading. Orange is a wonderful start, but that mahogany will add depth. I've not played Farmville. This is just adding some warmth and depth to that yellow that we just started as a base coat. Oh, thanks. We're just having fun painting some clone commandos. We had to follow up that roadmap, and I was like, what a great way to follow up that roadmap than with clone commandos. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. No. 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 Picking out lunch. In classic AMG fashion, it's teriyaki time. Because we're almost done here. We're going to take a little break. Tony, do we know the next one? You can tell me in a moment. The next stream?
We're taking a break at 11:30, but at 12:30, turn on my microphone. At 12:30, we will be back with Star Wars Shatterpoint, crafting characters.
Crafting characters. Not to be confused with crafty characters. Or characters who craft.
Yeah, sounds like Schick, Pagani, and Plummer are going to be talking about character creation and balance.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a fun one. What do we think, kids? So you can get rid of the reference now. Thank you. Let's do a little battle chipping on this. Let's do a little battle chipping. Yeah, we can't talk about stuff. Never, ever, never. Never once has it happened. A little black, a little brown on a sponge. Get rid of most of it.
Explain yourself, Dallas. What's happening right now?
Oh. I'm using a sponge. I'm using a little bit of brown black mix along the edges to create a little battle chipping. Usually I'd use a pair of tweezers on this for a little more control, but I don't have my tweezers. Let's do a little ding on the helmet though.
Yeah, make sure when you're done to turn around and face the camera real good so people can see, because I know you're trying to do some precise angles.
Yeah. Whew.
And also that sponge is just like this particular sponge is just a little bit of like blister foam, right?
Yeah, just a little blister foam. We're just barely touching. You don't want to overdo it. It looks weird and sort of overwrought. The lower on the miniature, the more apt. You got to think about where damage would collect. I like thinking about it on the bottom, right? Toward the front. If your wounds is at the back, well, it seems like cowardice. Not part of my clone force. And then once you get a couple of little, I like to tie them together with a brush. And that way you get some control, but you also get this random erratic pattern that the human hand has a very tough time creating. Most humans aren't good at random. We seek out patterns. This is how we get conspiracy theories. And we look for patterns even when there are none. So being able to use a sponge or, another material lets you create a random pattern when it's more difficult to. And then you just go in and artistically sort of accentuate the situation. Classic blue visor. Do we have time for that? Heck, I don't know. We're almost out of time. What do we got here? Look around, Dallas, quick. Bright jade. Usually I'd have like a multi-step, but we only got a few minutes. So I'm going to use bright jade and ivory. Not pale yellow. Bright ivory. So I have a whole step-by-step process on how I do glows. We've done lightsaber tutorials. I've done the Lucky 13s before with this blue glow on stream. Glow to me is like one of those miniature techniques that can just add so much, but a lot of times it's just not done proper. So I really like to focus and get a good glow on here. So we're going to start with this jade and ivory mix. It's a very light color. Yeah, you can find anything on the AMG's YouTube. I think I just said YouTube, so, whatever. It's Saturday. Transparent green. What I love is a good turquoise. Good turquoise. I don't bring my turquoise ink. I like using turquoise art inks a lot. No, I don't need it, Tony. I don't need it. We'll make something up. I know, but I feel bad. I don't need it. I'm going to make it up. I'm going to step outside of my comfort zone. We're going to use transparent green and maybe some of this dark jade. Maybe some deep sea bin. We're going to make a turquoisey color. Ooh, that dark jade is rich.
Would like to point out now is a good time to talk about the power of color mixing. It's really nice to have a whole bunch of different colors in your painting toolkit. Just kind of keeps it easy, gives you some quick options, but knowing how to mix colors is a very, very useful skill in miniature painting.
Oh man, I learned how to mix an umber once on the spot, and it was I was like, I don't really know how to mix an umber. It was one of those moments I realized I don't know how to make a dark umber, and then you realize it is super easy to make a dark umber, and it is a lot of red and black. So I'm going to use this as a wash to really get down in there. And it gives just that punch to that glow. Any mistakes, just whisk it away with that second brush. Look at that. Hey, that's a pretty good scorch for a few minutes. I think that's pretty good for a few minutes. Thoughts, hints, allegations, things left unsaid? We can do a darker tone on that. I want a darker tone on that yellow too. So we're going to do that mahogany and orange. Look at this fella. He's here for his brothers.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, this is that. Yeah, I figured this is the part you really want, is that real rich kick. And this is just transparent orange and some of that mahogany mixed together. It's going to add a lot of nice depth to that yellow, especially if you can stretch it out. Learn to stretch your paint out with a 2-brush technique.
Can you kind of unpack what you mean by stretch it out?
So I'm laying the paint here. Second brush is damp. Stretch it out. Let's stretch over the surface. It's like shaking it out, but not quite. This lets you get transitions, very smooth transitions. If you become very proficient at this technique, you can make airbrush smooth transitions with a brush. It also just lets you become very quick at just getting colors over top of one another, which gives colors depth. Like if you can get colors stretching over top of one another, it just gives them richer, deeper tones. Lets them feel more alive. So it's a technique I find that has led me to be able to paint very, very quickly, because my favorite color is dun, which is, funny because there is an actual color called dun, D-U-N, but I'm talking about D-O-N-E, as in finished, as in I can move on to the next. I'm going to dry climate. Add flow enhancer to prevent drying so fast. I mean, if you're putting it in your mouth, I wouldn't. But there's multiple ways to, Eat a lemon pie, as my granddad said. So yeah, you could probably use a flow improver. Just get used to it and figure out how the paint works for you. The real trick is like you just want the paint to stretch. You want the paint to stretch. Stretch it out. Second brush. Like we did earlier, that second brush is also super useful for cleaning up mistakes because painting miniatures is the fine art of correcting one's mistakes. So you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. We all do. If you say you don't, seems suspect. But just learn how to do whatever, if you're using flow improver, just practice. You got to practice. Figure out what makes it work. I think this Scorch is looking spicy. Not bad. He needs a little more work, but that's pretty good. I feel like that's a pretty good Scorch. And then we got a pretty solid start to our just Lucky 13 clone. I still got those to finish and I don't know, 6 more to paint.
7 minutes is what you have, so get on it.
All right, I got 7 minutes to paint 6 miniatures, where it just took me an hour and a half to paint half of 2.
Yeah, but now you have learned how to speed it up.
Well, how to do it.
You got your exemplar.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. This is the thing we were talking about earlier. Now, I've been holding back the whole time, and then at the end, I'm just like, and now check this out. Unit insignia. What are y'all? Oh. The demands, I swear. I don't know if I'm going to add the unit insignia. I don't even have a reference for the unit insignia up. Now I can start highlighting the white parts of the armor. And because we've toned it all down with like that blue and gray and that lovely, lovely I think he meant for Delta Squad. I painted a whole unit in 12 parsecs. Yeah, I did. I think the reason I like using the terrible brush is because everybody on stream can just relate. They're like, oh, I got that brush at home. This isn't even the final highlight. Just the first highlight. Whoop, that was really deep in the water. Learning what you can do with a terrible brush, I think, is like a rite of passage. It's like, you know, I did that one face really, really good one time with a really, really bad brush. So obviously I can do anything with a bad brush. The answer is that was probably a fluke. Just get a new brush. A little more black. Yeah, all this needs to be deep shaded more again. All the black parts, just darker, darker, darker. And then a lovely gray highlight will be nice. I don't have insignias for the Lucky 13s either. They have skull helmets because they're edgy.
Did you give them fingerless gloves too?
Ugh. Tony, I gotta go back and give all the Lucky 13s fingerless gloves. They all wear motorcycle jackets and don't ride a motorcycle. All right, how close are we? 1 minute? Okay, so we're going to take a break. And then at, what do we say? 12:30, we're coming back with Dev and Design?
Yep. Shatterpoint crafting characters.
Shatterpoint crafting characters. So you should join us back for that. Mini Extravaganza Day 3 continues to roll on. We're not done. We still have all day. We still got more to do. It's going to be great. Hopefully you join us. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And hopefully you're ready to get some clone commandos on the tabletop for yourself soon. And painting white tips will help you get there quicker. So until 12:30, we'll see you later. Mini Extravaganza, keep on going. Mini Extravaganza, Tony, take it out, because I'm going to run out of song. I don't know what they're saying. Oh gosh, no words are left.